Greetings from Cybertron. This is SoundJack here with a review of the Transformers, Power of the Primes, Legends Class, Battleslash, and Roadtrap. So this review is going to be a little bit different. So the two characters you see in front of you are two completely new characters. Battleslap has never existed before and Roadtrap has never existed before. However, a thing about these two is that they are able to combine into a pre-existing character, namely Battletrap, who was in G1 a Duocon, who was a transformer that had one robot mode and two alternate modes. His two alternate modes were a helicopter and a car. So they decided, hey, in this toy line, let's just make the two vehicles Legends class figures that turn into separate robots, and then have them combine into one larger robot. And they did that, and it's really cool. But for review practicality, it's going to be easier than having it's easier having these two in one review rather than either splitting them up into two reviews and having one review showing off the combination, or just flat out having three reviews, one on Battleslash, one on Roadtrap, one on Battletrap. So I figured this would be the easiest option. So let's get right into talking about them, but first let's talk about their cards. Since all size classes above Prime Master it feature the character card, they feature the same things: the character artwork, Generations logo, Power of the Primes, Decepticon symbol, and well, their faction symbol and their name, which both of them do, but they both each have they can come with one of 12 different bio cards, each with having a different bio, with them having an association with each of the different primes that are the Prime Masters in this toy line. So the cards I got for these two are Liege Maximo Battleslash, which convinces comrades and foes to bow to him, and Micronus Roadtrap, who toys with enemies to make them suffer. Interesting. But now taking a look at the figures themselves, let's start off with Battleslash, who turns into a off-white helicopter, and I say off-white because I also got the tailgate, and boy, does this thing look yellowed compared to the tailgate's white. It's so bright. But anyway, he is a helicopter. He's a little weirdly proportioned, if you can say that. He's got a large gap right here in the front of his nose cone, but that's for a combination. He does have this kind of weird bit going on here with gaps and hinges and stuff. But you know, it's not as bad as some jet formers, but it's still weird. But the cockpit, I will say, is very nice, with a nice blue paint, light blue paint on that cockpit, and a very nice Decepticon symbol with black bordering. That's different, and that looks really neat on this kind of a surface. He's got a little bit of red sticking out here. He's got this black rotor which can rotate. Ha ha! Never mind. He's got the tail fin going on, well, the tail section going on here. You got a little bit of blue, and you got a little bit of blue there. You got some rotors back there, but there's no paint on them. A little bit of purple there, a little bit black on what are like the engines. Yeah, the engines. Yeah, you can call those engines. That's what they're going for in this configuration. And then there's the underside with some chest details. So the black Decepticon insignia, a little bit of purple going on there. And then, yeah, and then the rest of it is kind of just kibble that's hiding in a helicopter. But, you know, it's pretty neat. Like I said, the rotor does rotate. There are no wheels, so it just kind of sits awkwardly on the ground. But it does allow for a Prime Master to sit on it, using these two rectangular tabs that fit into the rectangular holes on the backs of the Prime Masters or Titan Masters' legs, as well as that little bit gap right there to fit the hole, the tab on the back of the Prime Master. And then you got your Prime sitting on the tail of the helicopter, which should throw that out of balance. And also, he is an inch away from getting his head chopped off by Battleslash's rotor. I don't know, that's just kind of funny. You can tell with both of them that like they were focused on them being able to combine, so the Prime Master accommodation gimmick is not as strong on either of them as they are for like Beachcomber or Slash or what have you. But you know, they still put it in there.
Yeah, that's all for Battleslash. And now we'll move on to Roadtrap, who turns into this little Jeep truck kind of a thing. He's got a molded in winch at the front. He's got silver grille and bumper going on. Some nice yellow on those headlights. Nice red windows. Most of the truck is predominantly blue. Then you got all this detail here for the chest, his robot chest, Roadtrap's robot chest. Then you got some black wheels going on. They roll. You got some silver back here. You got some Roadtrap junk in the trunk. Oh, that's actually Battletrap's upper legs sticking out of the trunk right there. And then you got the underside, and you can see there's the back of his head. There's a little bit right there. Like I said, all that's Roadtrap chest detail, or Battletrap's leg detail. Chest, leg, yeah, both of those. Very simple truck. Like I said, he rolls. Doesn't roll too smoothly, unfortunately. Maybe it's just I don't have everything lined up properly, but I still don't think I'm getting him quite right. He does like to skid a bit more than roll, unfortunately. And he is also capable of having a Titan Master sit on him. He's got the same 2 tabs and the whole gimmick for the 2 holes in the tab on the Prime Master, and they also sit up. Though I forgot to mention it, both of them have to sit up by their knees, by bending their knees backward, which, I mean, also has to happen with Slash from the Wave 1, so that's a theme. You gotta break your legs if you want to ride the Power of the Prime's Legends, I guess, is the message here. They don't come with any accessories, so that's pretty much it for both of their vehicle modes. So let's get into some size comparisons. So here they are, next to Legends class Bumblebee and Battleslash and Roadtrap. Basically a Bumblebee Legends side, standard Bumblebee Legends square. Deluxe class Chrome Dome. See Battleslash, Roadtrap. You got Voyager, Megatron, Battleslash, Roadtrap. Then you got Leader class 6-shot, and I'm gonna have to raise the camera as always. And then Battleslash and Roadtrap. And just quick, there they are next to each other at that angle. So now, before I get them into their combined Battletrap forms, I'm going to show them off in their individual robot forms. So let's roll right along to that. And we will start with Battleslash. So first thing you're going to want to do for Battleslash is get the rotor out of the way so you can fold up the cockpit. There's a couple of tabs there that fit in a few holes right there, there, and there. So all 4 of those tabs do tab in quite nicely there. And then we're going to come up here. We are going to untab the arms from the legs. Well, what will become the robot mode arms from the legs, while both of the arms kind of have this tab kind of a thing going on. Only this arm has the tab goes all the way in, and it fits into the hole that is on that side, so that holds that into place. And then we'll come up here and split the arms apart, and this tab on this arm goes into that hole on that arm, and we'll just straighten the arms out. They fold in on a double hinge, well, on a ball joint and an elbow bend, so they'll have a double elbow in robot mode. But this tab goes into that hole right there to have that locked in. We'll fold that out again on the double hinge, and again, same tab to slot to get that to work. So again, we'll just get those out of the way, and we'll fold these down from here into this position until we are ready to move on. But before we move on, we are going to, well, first of all, we are going to get the front of the helicopter folded out of the way. I'm just going to fold it on that double hinge. It doesn't really tab in anywhere, it just kind of more so sits where it is. The hinge is tight enough that it's not going anywhere, but it doesn't tab in anywhere. So we're going to come back here and we're going to split Battleslash's robot legs, and they are going to rotate all the way around his body. So as you can see, this one's up here and this one's now down here. And you're just gonna get it into position like so. And we're gonna do the same with the other leg, have that come all the way around. Then we're gonna come down, rotate at the ball joint at the knee, flip the rotor up, repeat that on the other side, rotate, fold that up, and then we're gonna come back here, back up to the arms, and we're gonna rotate them around on this hinge so that they are on this side now instead of that side. As you can see, we'll rotate that around. We're actually gonna fold the chest down so as we can flip up Battleslash's head, and while we're there, we can fold these long black bits back, and then these tabs will go into those slots right there, and then there's a couple of tiny tabs that will go into the little groove on Battleslash's neck, so that will all hold into place if I've got that oriented all correctly. Yes, I do. And then we just fold the arm down, rotate at the elbow, and then again fold the arm down, rotate at the elbow, and there is Battleslash in his robot mode. So now we'll move on to Roadtrap's transformation. First thing you're going to do is you're going to take these bits and fold them down. Just the whole front wheels are going to fold down. And then we're going to take these arms and untab them and just move them back for the time being. Take the arms, untab them. How they tab in, there's this tab that goes in that slot right there. Tab to slot there. Then that tab goes into that slot there. And now that we have that untabbed, we can take this whole assembly and rotate it up. It'll try to split on you because legs. And then it'll just fold in and tab into place. I can't really show you the tabs just because they're all on the bottom side. But they definitely do exist because this definitely holds in together. And you can just rotate the arms around and straighten the arms down like so. And then it's just these tabs that go into those tiny slots right there to hold the arm together. Then we'll come down here, split the lower legs, lift the front windows, and then rotate the foot up, and then collapse the foot back down, or the wheel back down. And then because the arms are now out of the way, the wheels are low enough that they're not going to interfere with you trying to balance the figure, which is a very nice touch. And then again, you do the same on the other side, flip the window up, flip that down, flip the wheel back down, and then there the leg is all done. And then all you need to do is come up here, rotate that up, that tabs into place. You've got these tabs right here going into that slot right there to lock all of that into place. And then you just rotate the head around, and there is Roadtrap in his robot mode. And he also looks quite nice. These are very, I gotta say, to me, they have an older generations vibe, like the right before Combiner Wars, like the Thrilling 30 generations-ish kind of vibe. That era was rocking. They also both give me a bit of a power core combiner kind of a vibe. I'm not entirely certain about why that is. It's mostly from Battleslash. I think it's just the weird proportions that were needed to accommodate a torso mode that most of the power core combiners did. But you know, they're both very nice for new characters. Well, new characters. Well, they are technically new, but they're technically part of an old character. But whatever. So let's get into Battleslash right quick. He's got a very nice off-white colored helmet, silver face, and nice tiny red eyes going on there. He's got a black Decepticon symbol and some purple details on his chest, which I pointed out before on the underside. You got the arms are pretty much plain, a little bit of purple on the shoulder right there, which could have easily been Decepticon symbols, honestly. Both sides have that. A little bit of black here, black on the joint, and then the rest of the arm is white. His crotch is entirely black, his upper legs are entirely white, and his lower legs are entirely white as well. The only thing blue on him are those feet. And you got little bits of black bits sticking out of the shoulders because of the hinges. And then you got the giant rotor blade that's as tall as he is on his one arm. Surprisingly, despite not having that much color, he still looks quite good. I would think, normally I would say like you could use a little bit more color to break him up a little bit. I don't know why, he looks quite acceptable. Maybe it's just because he's smaller that the lack of coloring doesn't mind me. Maybe if like he had something for like knees or something that might make him look better. But I don't know. The colors are quite fine, even though they are very, very simple. For his articulation, his head can rotate a full 360 degrees, but that is all it can do. The arms can rotate up that far and down that far. That's all they can do just because of how this arm works, but they are on a ball joint, so they can bend all that way around. It's very weird. If you want the arms to go further up, you can use the hinge, but then the arm's going to kind of cock that way unless you angle the arm weird, but then you're doing very weird things. So that's basically all the up you're getting, unless you rotate this around and then rotate the upper arm around and then just pretend that's his the lower side of his the back side of his upper arm too. I don't know. This arm is very weird just because of the accommodation for the torso, I gotta say. But the ball elbow is a very normal articulation. It's a ball jointed elbow, so you get 360 degrees of rotation as well as a solid 90-degree bend, maybe even slightly more than 90 degrees, but very slightly more than 90 degrees. And then there's nothing at the wrist. And then the waist, there is absolutely nothing because of how it transforms. And then the legs are able to bend that far forward and that far back. Let me get a better look at that back. And then that far out to the side. And then he has a ball jointed knee, so the knee is able to rotate 360 degrees. Slightly less than 90 degrees of bend at the knee, and then the feet do absolutely nothing. And then that is Battleslash. So now on to Roadtrap. He is a very, very colorful boy, unlike Battleslash over there. He's got a very blue helmet, silver face plate, no mouth on that noggin, though he has a fake nose going on there, kind of molded in there. He's got red visor going on there, a little bit silver up here. You got some silver chest details going on here with lines and dots and a Decepticon symbol. A bit of yellow picking out his abs down there, as well as a black, like, not crotch, but belt. Let's call that a belt. Why not? And then there's a little bit of a blue triangle molded in there. Crotch is blue, upper legs are solidly blue. Window, the feet, and the lower legs are all the front of the truck, so you're familiar with that. The upper arms are very solidly blue, a little bit of red on the shoulders, and then the fists are painted black. And yeah, he's pretty solid. His backpack has a lot of gaps and bits in it, but you know, sacrifices for a combined form. And it doesn't look too bad. Granted, I don't look at the back of my toys, but at least it's all covered up and it's not like a whole lot of kill bill. And then like the worst thing sticking out of him are like heels for the combined form, but you know, he could use the support too. So that's fine. Articulation, his head can rotate a full 360 degrees, and that's all it can do. The arms are able to rotate a full 360 degrees. You do have to get it around the hinge a little bit. And annoyance for me is this tab right here for the vehicle mode sticks out a bit, so like you can't like get the arm flat against the body. If you like, it's not going to be perpendicular, like it's not going to stay flush against the body and also be perpendicular up and down this way because the tab's going to make it stick out a little bit. So I don't know, that's a very, very, very minor botherance to me, but it's nothing detracting from the toy at all. That's just a note. The arm is able to bend out that far, and because it's on a ball joint, you can get it to rotate a full 360 degrees up at the ball joint. But the main where the bicep joint would be is at the elbow, which rotates a full 360 degrees and is able to bend slightly greater than 90 degrees, and nothing at the wrist, nothing at the waist. Legs are able to bend that far forward and that far back and that far out. And there is a ball jointed knee right there, which allows 360 degrees of rotation at the knee, 90 degrees of bend at the knee, and nothing really going on with the feet. I guess you can get a little bit of lower leg tilt with the ball joint, but that's going to be a bit more for the combined form, and that's all there is on those two. So now let's get into some robot mode size comparisons for these two. Here they are next to Legends class Bumblebee, and you can see they are pretty much all the same height. Battleslash just touch smaller at the head than Roadtrap and Bumblebee. Deluxe class Chrome Dome, and you can see they're both just about at the lower brown bit of his chest. Voyager class Megatron, and you can see they're just at his thigh swivel. Oops, Megatron's head is out of frame, so there's that. Back them back up a bit to get a shot with Leader class 6 shot, and you can see they come up to his knee. And then you get the channel's mascots, Soundwave and Wheeljack, so you can see how they look next to them. Yeah, so now it is time to combine them into their Battletrap form. I'm going to be honest, both of them are substantially easier to combine starting in their ultimate mode, but I'm just going to do it from the robot mode since that's where I'm at. So yeah, Roadtrap, you are mostly getting him back into vehicle form, though you are going to split his upper torso. What is going to happen is you are going to move this entire assembly down after splitting the leg, rotating the arm back and tabbing it back into vehicle mode position. Then everything else just remains the same, and you will do the same for the other side, and fold that in, tab that in, and then actually that's all you needed to do. So Roadtrap's not that hard from robot mode because the head is actually, Roadtrap's head is actually the connector for the combined form. So that's Roadtrap. So now for Battleslash, this one's going to be a little more tricky to get to because we gotta, first things first, we're going to untab the cockpit that's sitting on Battleslash's back, and so as we can get clear access to this section, so as we can fold his head back in, and we'll just move that back up, and we'll move these out of the way while we are working here. Then we're going to come up, fold these up, hold on, yeah, fold these up like this, and then we're going to fold them down on this hinge, and then this tab is going to go into that slot right there. And then they're in position for our mode, and repeat that on the other side, tab that in, and actually the legs are already oriented correctly for the robot mode. Actually not that hard from robot mode. What was I talking about? So for the back, as what we're going to do for the arms is we're going to orient the arms like so, and then we're going to fold them along the back like this, and then get this huge tab to go into that slot right there, like so, and then just have it sit upon the back like that, and we'll flip Battletrap's head up, collapse the chest, and rotate this entire section down, because that again is where it's going to connect, and then just plug them in together. And there you have Battletrap in his robot form, and that is a very nice update. A little bit more than G1 with articulation, certainly, since basically G1 had no articulation what to speak of. So I mean, this is very nice to see this in like a very solidly looking robot body. It's wonderful. They also do a very interesting thing with making the rotor sit like this upon the backpack, so it's not moving anywhere, which is very surprising because Transformers with rotor blades don't tend to do that. So that's a very nice touch. Looking at his head sculpt, he gets a very nice head going on here, very solid dark blue like Battletrap, though he gets a bit of light blue for his face and silver on the eyes. The chest is the helicopter cockpit we saw before. His robot arms are the robot legs from Battleslash, and with some blue fists going on there. And then the lower legs are basically Roadtrap's entire body, just the chest lowered and the legs and his entire body split in half. So yeah, that's that. So for articulation, his head can rotate a full 360 degrees. The arms are able to also rotate a full 360 degrees. Arms are able to bend out to the side, and as well as the knees, the elbows here have a ball joint, so 90 degree of bend and 360 degrees of rotation. Waist can rotate. Unfortunately, due to how the rotor is transformed, you do not get a full 360 degrees in this configuration. There are a few people that have alternate configurations. Piog has one where he has these on the back, but they're still tabbed together, but the rotor rotates freely, so you can get the full 360 degrees, but that ends up limiting the shoulder articulation a fair bit. And I've seen some people just completely transform these arms to be over his robot mode shoulders, but then that also limits the in and out movement. So whatever you do, it's going to limit the articulation in some way, shape, or form. But this is the official transformation, so I'm going with this. I haven't decided which configuration actually best, but this is a very nice configuration. Anyway, waist rotation, but again limited because of the rotor. Legs are able to bend that far forward, and that far back, and that far out. His knees, which he does have, it's a little hard getting the lower section to stay tabbed, unfortunately. I'm going to say that's one of the more annoying bits, that this doesn't stay completely tabbed if you're futzing around with the feet. But he does have this hinge right here, which allows for 90 degrees of bend, and he also does have a thigh swivel, a dedicated thigh swivel, which can get 360 degrees of rotation, though it's a little hard to show off because there's a fair bit of kibble that you gotta work your way around robot bits, and then the ball joint at the hip just kind of wants to go with that as well. But that rotation is in fact there, as you can see, the mushroom peg right there. And then the knees, because of Roadtrap, you can get a little bit of pivot going on. You can get a little bit of pivot going on at the feet, but not a whole lot. But you just enough to like allow him to spread out a little bit. Just give him a little bit of a wider stance. But you can also make him have a closer in stance, and it's still all working fine. I didn't really mention it for the other two, but neither of them came with any accessories, so there's nothing to show off with them holding or storing anything in their robot modes. So now let's just get on to the size comparisons. Here he is with Bumblebee, and Bumblebee comes up to just like the bottom of the cockpit on the chest. Deluxe Chrome Dome, and while he's not like a full deluxe size, he's a bit shorter than the deluxes, but he's only like half a head shorter than Chrome Dome is, so that's not terrible. We've got Voyager class Megatron, and he comes up just to the little shy of the gray, only just right at the top of those lines on Megatron's chest. Let me raise the camera up a little bit since he's not completely in frame. Leader 6 shot. He comes up to his skirt panels right about there. On the skirt panel, 6 shots not in frame still. And then we've got the challenge mascots, Soundwave and Wheeljack, so you can see how he looks next to them. Yeah, overall, this is a very nice modern update of a character that we just don't see often. And I want more of these guys. These guys are cool. They basically do what Energon did, and forgive me for mentioning Energon, but double robot combination was that thing's gimmick, but this does it well. They're it's basically dedicated to this combiner set, but well, actually, if I remember correctly, I think I've seen pictures with them working with the Crash combiner, so maybe they have a very similar connecting point. But my point is, these two are great. These original characters and this old character are a very excellent toy. And what I want to see is more of these. I know the Power of the Primes toy line is ending, And we know we're not getting any more of these because the last wave of Legends we're supposedly getting is going to be 2 repaints of characters. But in toy lines that continue, I want to see more of these guys. These Legends guys that combine into somewhat larger robots that are cool. I mean, the only other like known Duocon we got is Flywheels, and please at the very least make that. Please at the very least make that. Make the Duocon team from the original series complete. But bring in more characters. Bring in more characters. Give us Duobots. Give us the Crash Combiners characters from Robots in Disguise this past year that we've been getting. Even just the new characters. Even if you want to even like make Strong Arm and Bumblebee Generation 1 Duobot Combiner or whatever. Or give us completely new characters that combine in this way. I very much appreciate a shock drive, Hasbro, please. A very good shock drive, please. But anyway, this is a very cool play pattern. This is a very cool concept. I very much enjoy it, and I very much enjoy these toys and how they do it. Of course, because they have to integrate 3 modes, there are weaknesses with the certain modes, but all the modes take the weaknesses on well, and they're all very minor weaknesses, so they're not worse. I gotta say, Roadtrap overall is probably the better toy because Battleslash has to accommodate more to be the torso, whereas Roadtrap only has to work on being himself and legs and a car. So that's a bit easier, but overall, I very much enjoy both of them, and I definitely recommend you get both of them, in my opinion. If you're not into this, obviously don't get it. But I think they are worth it, and especially since they're $10 each, this is a very simple combiner to get. And yeah, that's all I have to say on Battleslash and Roadtrap and their combined form of Battletrap, sorry. But that is all I have to say. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please like and share this video and subscribe to the channel. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at SoundJack426. Also, please consider donating on my Patreon page to help support the channel. All the links will be in the description below. Thanks for tuning in. This is SoundJack signing off.